So I quit my job. Cheers, ladies. I really hope I've done the right thing, but I have a 3-month notice. If you don't know, I'm a quantity surveyor in new housing. 3 months notice, which is a bloody long time. I have 3 months to make it work, don't I? You gotta go all in, don't you? I think that fart was well timed. I am shitting myself. So I'm just going to be frank. I started matching my wage now with the TikTok Creator Fund. And that's obviously the videos that get monetized because the rest of them are so vile. So I figure more content, more views, more money. To do that, I need more time. So, fuck it. I'm just not built for corporate life. I never have been. I'm too fucking feral for it. I did actually lose a job once because of my TikTok videos, which I can tell you now because I can't get sacked because I've already quit. So I'll tell you because it still winds me up to this day. So I worked for a modular housing company, which is where they get built in a factory and then like craned in onto the site. I don't know why you needed to know that, but I told you. I worked for one of them for about 2.5 years. Went into administration, the company went under, which wasn't a fucking surprise because it was going awfully. I then got a new job at another company doing the same thing, except I took a higher position, more money, but my site was in Kent and it was taking literally like 3.5, 4 hours to get to this fucking site. Really, I should have been really pleased. I managed to turn redundancy into fucking promotion, but I hated everything about this site. I hated how long it took to get there. The staff were awful. The site manager was a fucking prick. I cannot stress enough to you how much of a prick this guy was. He just straight up ignored me my first day. Teams meeting that I needed to attend. And there was like an office and a meeting room. He had his own office, obviously. And he was taking a phone call in the meeting room. And I asked him, I just put my head on the door and said, do you mind if we swap places? Could you go into your office and I'll use the meeting room for a fucking meeting? He was like, when I finish this. Spoke to me like I was shit on his shoe. Anyway, I might have done a video about how men treat women in construction. Because obviously that's my own experience. I'm sure it's the same in other male-dominated spaces, honestly, but my experience is construction. The MD of that company was an American, like, ex-Wall Street guy, and he was a fucking wanker. The only time I ever had any experience of him is on that site, and he was asked to put on hard hat, site boots, so that he didn't get crushed by scaffolding. It's like, Garrett, I'm not putting fucking PPE on. It's my fucking site. I own the fucking company. Someone's getting fired today. Someone's getting fucking fired today. Oh my God. What a tosser. So after a 1.5 months of being there, I went on holiday and I fucking hated the place. I hated it. The men were awful. And it was not my first time dealing with shitty men. And my least favourite kind of men are the ones that will give you shit, will bully you until you're a cunt back to them. And then they're really nice to you. That really pisses me off. If you're going to be a dick, be a dick. Don't just do it until you think you've met your match. You're pussy-o. Anyway, this guy on site was one of those people, and I'd met so many before. And even though I was on a lovely holiday, I just was getting wound up about this job and how the men were treating me. And the reason they do it is because they think that you can't knock them out. They wouldn't talk to a man like it because they're that kind of man. Do you know what I mean? They only do it to women because they think that if it came to physically anything, they'd win, which is not strictly true, okay? And you know, my bad, I might have named some of these guys by name. Anyway, this video did really well, partly because so many women could relate, but unbeknownst to me, partly because the HR department were watching it on repeat. So this was just essentially like 6 minutes of me ranting and calling out all the shit men I'd worked with over the past decade. And yes, while I was on holiday, I got an email to my personal email inviting me to a meeting when I returned on my first day back to discuss allegations of harassment and bullying. Fucking ironic. So in the end, I got dismissed for those allegations, even though I said at the time, so you're not going to do anything about the men that I've been talking about? No, just my reaction to it. Okay, well, I see what kind of company you are. But obviously, needless to say, after that, I took a break from social media because I could not afford to lose another job. When I finally did come back to social media, I did the Natty skits, which if you follow me on YouTube, you'll know what I'm talking about. Because I just simply couldn't trust my mouth out of character. If I was doing a character, you know, you can't sack a character, can you? Well, actually, you probably can, but that was my logic anyway. So it hasn't been long since I started taking my TikTok more seriously again. And the place that I worked at after I got dismissed for bullying and harassment ended up being actually much worse. It was a really toxic environment, and I had a site manager even offer me outside. He was that angry and was literally shouting in my face so much that he spat. The construction industry are very disrespectful of women. I'm lucky though, because the job I have now is really good. Everyone's lovely and very respectful. However, I still want to leave. I just have never been cut out for proper office life. Some people really enjoy it. I'm not one of those people. So we're one step closer to Japan and one step closer to a podcast, ladies. So for God's sake, interact with this video so I don't go homeless. Thank you in advance. Okay, this is a finished look. Very site ready. I have really lost quite a lot of arse in the last week or so. Alas. Thank you so much for joining me for Chinwag this morning. Please do wish me luck. I have gone all in now. So, yes. Isn't it exciting? / absolutely terrifying. My asshole is squinting as we speak. Have an ever so lovely day. Do be careful out there, won't you? Especially around the men. Oh, only joking. Not the guys and gays that follow me, of course. They're all delightful. Love you, bye.